I'm the struggling Forex trader. And yep, I'm struggling all right. You can see on the screen here, I am just a struggling Forex trader doing my best to navigate markets that are often unpredictable and heavily manipulated. Say that again, huh? I'm basically, yeah, that's my dog. I'm going to run through some stuff here. It might sound pessimistic. It is realistic, not pessimistic. Maybe both combined. But I do, no matter what I say, I do think there's still hope in the market, in the Forex market, to make a moderate passive income. But being a struggling Forex trader, I am looking for people who maybe are struggling like myself, or maybe people who have been successful and would like to help a struggling Forex trader, or more than one struggling Forex trader, if we can find others, to be successful. So, and I find that nobody gives an honest strategy. By that I mean they all want to be paid money for what they call very successful Forex methods and strategies. Aren't they successful in Forex? Why do they need to be paid money for their strategy? And what I mean is like $5,000, give me a break. $2,000? Something you don't know yourself is going to work? Even $500. So I'm tired of the dishonest YouTubers. They don't show live trading. If they do, it's chaotic, kind of messy looking. There's one YouTuber who said they put $40,000 into a trade, and oh, I was successful, or or my trade's going right now. I think that was the exact one I seen. I have it in there right now, and the manner in which this person said it, so unconcerned. The average person if they put $40,000 into a trade, what, you wouldn't be concerned? Obviously a demo account. Red alert, big red alert, demo account. And then this person turns around, I got a strategy and I got indicators. And I want to sell it to you. I'm not going to do that. Obviously, that's a pretty stupid idea. You want to sell your strategies and all that, and you're trading off a demo account. Why would you even try to do that? I guess there's some people who aren't paying that much attention or who want to succeed so badly that they would trust that. There's the strategy makers who say, throw out all your indicators and everything you've learned. Throw it all out. But I'm going to give you the successful way. And then they go out and they say, well, here's the pivot points, or here's supply and demand, or here's yesterday's high and low. Well, aren't those support and resistance? Who or what you told us to throw out? I've literally heard strategy makers say throw out support and resistance, and then here's a indicator for yesterday's high and low. Also, a different one who said supply and demand, do supply and demand, but throw your resistance and support and resistance out. And I'm the struggling Forex trader. So maybe I'm not understanding, right? Uh, And then they come out and they say, well, something like the buyers are taking control or the sellers are taking control. Let's be honest here. There's not a fight against buyers and sellers, or I don't know if you call it a fight. It's not a struggle between buyers and sellers. It's between banks, institutions, big corporations who are participating in all this against the retail traders. That's what it is. So it's the buying against the selling. I mean, sorry, buying and selling. So instead of saying this, the buyers took control, you should say the buying took control, or is taking control, or the selling took control. At least say that much. If you want to be vague, if you want to be more honest, tell the complete truth. What's really going on in these markets. So then you have yeah, you have repainting indicators. You've got the 5 minute shutdown of the market, Forex market. It blew me away for 2 or 3 months. Why is my trade being closed? Because the spread gets so much larger because of the lack of volume. Nobody ever told me that on these strategies. And repainting indicators, those people just take us for fools. Maybe we are kind of foolish in the beginning. We don't know what we're doing. Struggling Forex traders. I'm not pretending to make a profit consistently. I don't. In fact, I strongly advise you to do your own due diligence and backtesting before you would even consider copying a struggling Forex trader's trades. But I will show you here how really struggling I am. Here is a setup that I sort of I could win and lose and maybe break even at best. And it's the only real setup that I've come close to breaking even. Where I trade when the candle closes above the green VWAP band or below the red VWAP band, I will go in for a buy or a sell. About maybe 10, 15 pips, maybe 20 at the most. But you can see how that fails by that with a big red candle off to the closer to the right hand side there. That would have been a failure. So don't really have that great of a strategy here. And then the TDI, well, that's a whole another story. Looking for divergence, and I'm not even going to talk about that. We have a method that I've just recently learned about, the COT report. And it shows the trades in the commercial and the non-commercial and the retail side, which is non-reportable, for the future market. The futures market can be used for volume uh, and then revert it or convert it over to the Forex market, which I'll show in a moment. But this thing can be a massive deception. I don't know if it is. I suspect that it is. Because you see here under the commercial, which is supposedly the banks, the big wigs, 258,000, a little more than 258,000 there, and the shorts and 157,000 for the longs. Well, those are contracts in the futures market. So if you have, let's just say for the sake of making it simple, there's $1 in each short contract and $2 in the long contract. Well, the longs are going to be greater than the shorts because you have $2. But you don't see how much it contracts for each contract. And here you only see how many there were. So how can you base trades off of the COT report? And there's indicators out there based off the COT report. There's people on YouTube praising it up and down. This is great. I'm going to show you a very powerful way of trading the market, an indicator more powerful than anything I've ever showed you before. By the way, here's my indicator. It costs $20 or $30 or whatever. Am I looking at this incorrectly? Or can the longs have more money in them even though there's less contracts? And then that's going to affect everything. So I got into this because of, let me see here, because I'm looking into the futures market compared to the Forex market. And you can see here, primarily, not, I don't think all the time because the future market closes for an hour every day. It's another manipulation, I think, because Forex closes for 5 minutes, futures closes for an hour at the same time. So you can't turn to the future market and see what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes because futures is closed for an entire hour. But there are certain not support, but supply and demand that's a little bit different, and you can maybe set up a strategy based off of that. I do have VWAP bands here. Um, and then that's on the right hand side there. The, it's just the futures, the Japanese yen future, and then USD JPY. I also have it. Don't know if you could see it on the screen, but I have it. It's an opposite. Um, the yellow's on top of the purple. Might be a little too far down the screen, but everything's the opposite in here. And you can use volume in the futures market better than in the Forex. So I opened a trading view account a couple days ago to try to work with this. And hopefully it will work out. Now trading view is like I was mentioning before about all these, not trying to be pessimistic, but I have to mention that again that trading view has a limitation of 30 days and they don't allow access to everything. Or MetaTrader does. TradingView makes excuses. Well, this institution, whatever, is not allowing us to do it unless you pay. They're just trying to lure us into signing up before the 30-day trial is over. So I pretty much almost completely mention what I wanted to say, but I do have to put in here again. I'm a struggling forex trader, and as a struggling forex trader, I'd appreciate other struggling forex traders to come out and say, "Hey, I'm struggling too. I could use the help," or the exchange of ideas. And then there might be some who are successful who really do want to help. Those are invited here too, this YouTube channel. I'm not monetizing this. I can't do it anyway. I think I'd be probably the only one who should monetize if I could monetize because I'm a struggling forex trader. All these other YouTubers who have strategies and all, they're not struggling. They're way successful in the forex market. So they don't need to monetize. Why I get 3 or 4 commercials in every video that I play of theirs? Because they're not monetizing? I don't think so. And please don't give me a thumbs up. Don't give me a thumbs up or a subscribe to my channel unless you want to do that. There's a reason for it. Maybe you're a struggling forex trader and you want to be part of this. Hey, great. But I'm not going to say right off the bat, like in the beginning of your video, you didn't hear me say, please subscribe and give a thumbs up now. So let me see what is going on here in my computer. Okay, we're still running. Okay, so let's try maybe to get something together here. I might be on YouTube for 2 or 3 months. I might be for 5 years. But this isn't just a channel that's going to continue on and on and on and on and on. If it's realistic to keep it going, it'll keep going. If it's not realistic, it's going to come to an end. And this video will probably sit here, or maybe another couple of videos, and with no updated videos. But the email will stay the same. If I'm not updating the videos anymore after a while, the email will only be checked once in a while. So you'd have to know that I will check it, but it will be less often. Because if there wasn't enough interest or there wasn't any interest at all, then why should I continue this? That's the realistic thing to do. And like I said, all these other things I mentioned, although seems pessimistic, is primarily realistic. They when they say that it's your fault that my strategy is not working, it's you didn't have proper psychology. That is so annoying. That is so annoying. Maybe partly, yeah, but not completely. Maybe your strategy doesn't work. That you sold to somebody for $5,000. Anyway, I will delete any comments not pertaining to the subject at hand. If I perceive they may be a troll, trolls seem to be attracted to honesty, like bees to honey, and can infiltrate and confuse. So I will delete them. If I suspect they're a troll and they're not, or the comments are in bad, maybe bad intention, and they're not, I do apologize for that. But I would just want to protect this channel. And I've seen negativity with honest YouTubers. I've actually found 2 of them. One quit because of the negativity, and trying to help people, and the other one actually really has quit, as far as I know. Um, very good signals, and, and then three or four bad ones in a row, and that I think what ended up being enough for that trader. I haven't seen any new ones for a while. Anyway, do want to keep going on and on here. There is the email address to contact the Struggling Forex Trader at gmail.com, and hopefully we can get things to work out better in the Forex market for ourselves if we unite. And what was it? There was a scene in the movie The Gladiator where he says that as long as we're strong together, we're going to be basically, I can't remember the exact words, but we're going to be okay. Well, I think in the Forex market, we could still lose, but it, we might even all decide together, hey, this just is not good for us. It's just not good. There's too much manipulation of the market going on, and we can't figure it out. But maybe we can figure it out because where there's all this dishonesty and there's manipulation, we might be able to reverse certain things and flip things around and actually be successful. And by flipping, reversing, I'm referring to like, well, it'd be hard. Like the more recent report, I think it was a CPI report that came out, and for the USD, it was negative, and my trade was in the right way, negative, but everything went up, and the trade was closed with a loss. Maybe somehow we can figure out how to get around that. I guess the number one way would be just to stay out of the market during that time, but I had to believe that trade was in since the day before. Anyway, I'm the struggling Forex trader, and I'm signing out now. God bless you, and we'll see what we can do.